whereas the Board of Trustees, the Speaker has the option of completing and submitting a blue card to the Board's recording secretary prior to the start of an open session. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. Per Board Bylaw 9323, the Speaker will address the President of the podium when speaking to the Board of Trustees. Clerk Clayton Tarver, do we have any speakers?
We have 19.
Okay. Well, then, Clerk Clayton Tarver, what is our normal? Just roll right into it?
Yes. Typically, each speaker gets 3 minutes to speak, unless a motion is made to reduce the time to 2 minutes.
Under California state law and under our prior means of operation on this particular matter, I'd like to move that we limit speeches to 2 minutes each and afford all participants time to speak.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yes, please.
Trustee Westphal?
This is a matter of public concern. People have all showed up here to speak. I'm sure they all have something to say. They're expecting 3 minutes. I would be in favor of waiving the rules and allowing the speakers to speak for a full 3 minutes.
Trustee Westphal?
California state case law allows governing bodies to limit the number of speakers to 10 people for each side if the body so elects, and 2 minutes each if they want. I think 2 minutes each and everybody gets to speak is a kind and generous allocation of time for full explication of the matter.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Westall, no.
Motion carries 4-1. So we're going to go ahead and limit public speech. We're going to let everyone speak. We're going to limit it to 2 minutes per person. And go ahead and call it for speaker.
Crystal Hickerson. Michelle Anderson. Sarah Bach.
Good evening. I'm Crystal Hickerson again. I'm speaking to you about our desire for starting a Waldorf charter school, correct? Well, in the process of canvassing, I often described Waldorf school as an arts-based education, which it is. What I really love about it is the looping system that we have, where a teacher stays with children from the first grade up through the 8th grade. So the class becomes a sort of family, and the teacher has to make that commitment to the students and their families and vice versa. And this also gives the teacher a lot of insight into each student's background, each student's different needs and strengths. And coming from a background teaching at the university level where I have new students every 10 weeks, it makes a big difference to know your students and to be able to support them in that way. So the looping system is a very big, important part of Waldorf education that we can offer. And I've worked so hard to get my kids into Waldorf school when we couldn't get into a charter or afford a private Waldorf school. And so if we can just create more diversity and opportunities for parents to have this kind of system available to them, I think that can only enrich the school district. We're pulling from the same pool, and we can just offer families different kinds of education, different methods and experiences. And I just want to share that vision of enriching the educational possibilities out there for our families. Thanks.
Good evening, Superintendent Hanson, President of the Board, and Honorable Board members. My name is Michelle Anderson. I am the Regional Manager for the California Charter Schools Association. We're a 1,200 member school organization that works with all of our members up and down the state. I'm here tonight to let you know that CCSA has done a thorough review of this Sycamore Creek petition. We have a a team that is involved in this process. It includes educators, finance people, school development people, and legal team. And together they have put their seal of approval on this petition. It is legally compliant and it is educationally sound. And those are the two criteria that you are to consider when you decide whether to approve a charter school or not. So you as a board have the right and have this opportunity to approve this school. This is a Waldorf school. It's a different school. It's something you don't currently have in your district. So what does that do if you actually approve this school? It gives you the following. It gives you a different type of school to offer to your families. It gives you the opportunity to give your families a choice of a Waldorf education. And in case you don't realize it, there are many people who pay a lot of money to have a Waldorf education for their children. They would now come to your district to have their child educated here. It also gives your families the ability to have something different for their children. One size does not fit all. You wouldn't like to eat at McDonald's every day. Not every child performs the same way at the same type of traditional school. This gives them an option. What you get by approving this school, you get local control. What does local control mean? Local control means that you get to oversee a school that's going to be located in your district. If you don't approve them, they will most likely be approved by the county and you will lose that opportunity. You will also lose the oversight fees. Think about it.
Sarah Bach. Good evening, Ocean View School District Board, President Souders, and the public. The first Waldorf school, which takes its name from a factory located in Stuttgart, Germany, opened on September 7th, 1919, almost 100 years ago. Rudolf Steiner, its philosophical guide, espoused a sociological theory to foster human rights, equality, and freedom in a war-torn Europe. After learning about Steiner's educational approach, the factory workers were eager to have it for their own children, and the factory owner, Emil Molt, along with the board of directors, worked to form the school as an independent institution licensed by the local government. Top of the list of Steiner's desire was that the school be open to all children. Now, as evidenced by the thousands of Waldorf schools worldwide that exist today, the first Waldorf school was a market success and led to what has become one of the largest educational social movements that is not run by any central organization. Which brings me to the reason Sycamore Creek Community Charter Schools petition is before you tonight. We, like the Waldorf factory workers, want a public Waldorf school open to all children. A school that focuses on art integration, whole child philosophy, and giving the children and teacher multiple years together to strengthen bonds that provide students with love and guidance as they grow and develop, and so much more, as you have read in our thoughtfully prepared petition, is what we are here to ask the district to support such an initiative. Furthermore, while the community before you consists of teachers, business professionals, academics, and for many others, our main role here tonight is that we are parents. We are all parents before you. Sadly, it seems the board has failed to recognize this simple truth. We exhibit the very essence of the Charter School Act of 1992 in that we are a grassroots, community-led group of parents who want this choice in Ocean View School District for all children. Thank you.
Tim Walter, Juliet Santa Cruz, Jason Bozar.
Tim Walters first. All right. I come to you as a father, as a parent, and what I've heard a lot and what I've been listening to is a lot of fear coming from district outside, people that aren't aware of what we do and what the Waldorf schools teach and how they teach. It's the fear of not knowing. It's the fear of something new, something they've never heard of. And that's something I was in fear of. You know, I started my kids in public school, went to now homeschools, and now they're they're learning new different things that brings them delight, and they enjoy it. And that's the thing that I was hesitant about the Waldorf teachings and didn't understand it myself. But being around it for a long time and seeing how they react to it, it's amazing. And the world's changing, and bringing something new in your district is going to be great benefits for you, because you're going to bring a whole section of the community that is now some been out isolated because it's not, public school's not for them. But if they get into a charter school that is not way too much money that we can't afford it, something that our kids enjoy, that they come home to, and they bring these things home. A lot of it's money, a lot of it is the kids don't have the time, the money, the parents don't have the money to afford this type of education, but you guys have the ability to offer this to us so that we can build on our families. The world's changing, and our kids are going to grow up with it. And I hope that you guys can see that we're not trying to change the district, we're trying to build on it. Thank you.
Juliet Santa Cruz.
Hello, good evening, board members, superintendent. One of the things I wanted to mention was my children have been homeschooled. My oldest is 10 and my second is 8, and I have younger children. And they've been homeschooled in the Waldorf method, and some parents worry that if they can't stay in the whole program all the way through, that they will be behind in certain things. And my children are now at a public school, and there was really no noticeable difference between my children and the other children. So that was something I worried about, and one of the reasons I support Sycamore and I'm trying to help open it is to give my children that full experience. So we just couldn't maintain homeschooling and can't afford the public school, the private schools, and we weren't able to get into Journey. So I just wanted to bring that up because there were a lot of things that were in your reason for denial, and that was one of them that I read, and so I just wanted to say that from my own personal experience, my children are doing very well, both in the program we were doing at home and then at the school they're at now. One of the points that was brought up in your denial was that it is unclear who will provide student services for SCCS students if the charter only plans to hire 8 certificated positions. Like many of the denials, nothing in the Charter School Act requires identification of which employees will provide food services. The statement does not support a finding that the petitioners are demonstrably unlikely to successfully implement the program, and it is not a legal reason for denial of a charter petition. Our charter was approved by CCSA, and we did a very good job with it. Thank you so much.
Jason Bozar.
My name is Jason Bozarth. I am the chapter president for CSEA number 375. I feel that others have spoken at length concerning the dubious acquisition of signatures and expressing their concern far more eloquently than I. I had a different concern, though. A search through the internet determined that the highest rates of unvaccinated kindergartners in California occurs at Waldorf-inspired schools. Now, this is a cause for concern. I want to be an advocate for educational choices. However, I feel that not vaccinating your children puts the health of others at risk. In my view, this is unacceptable. Lastly, many charter schools try to cut costs by employing non-union employees and by engaging in retributive tactics for those employees who try to form a union chapter. Empowered, well-compensated employees are a benefit to the economic stability of their community instead of a drain on civic resources, such as those employees who are given subsistence wages with no benefits. A vote to sustain and protect union jobs is a vote to support the local community and its economy. And in this time of mounting adversity, the common man is watching those in power very carefully, as was evidence in November. On behalf of the classified chapter, I am asking the board to please turn down Sycamore's petition. Thank you.
Kimberly Helfer Radzat, Maribel Mendez, Ellen Sedberg,
Hi, my name is Kimberly Telfer-Radzett. Good evening. First, really quick, Waldorf-inspired schools are charter schools, and all charter schools have to follow state law about vaccines, so I just don't want there to be any, fake news out there, but that's not true. So, the school that was just in the news is a private school, and I don't know anything about what they're doing, so you can check with Journey if you have questions about that, if they follow those rules. So in response to some of the concerns, I think, that came from the petition, do I have the right? Sorry. 666. One of those was about the professional development and the amount of money that was allocated for that. The training that's required, Waldorf teachers do require a lot of training, but there's no legal requirement to provide a reasonably comprehensive description of a professional development plan in a charter petition. What was stated is purely speculative and is based on a series of incorrect assumptions rather than facts specified to the charter petition. There are plenty of staff, myself included, who can provide development. It was also stated that none of the founding members have any training, which is absolutely incorrect. I teach in the teacher training program. I am fully credentialed California state teacher. I am a certified Waldorf teacher. I am a special ed teacher. So I have all of that experience to provide training as needed. So that statement does not support a finding that the petitioners are unlikely to be successful and is not a legal reason for denial of the charter petition. That's all I have time
for. Good evening, Superintendent Carol Hansen, President and School Board. My name is Maribel Mendez, and I'm the PTO President at Oakview Elementary. And I am here today because I am concerned. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Sycamore Creek, about their charter school. Everything seems great, but at Ocean View School District, there's variety. We have options. There's a GATE program, all these amazing things, robotics, and I've seen a lot of good positive changes at Oakview. Our parents are more involved. There's robotics, there's music, there's more parent involvement, and I am just concerned because there's a lot of bad information out there. Our families were not well informed about the charter school, about what they were signing. They also received calls stating not to answer any Oakview calls, which is concerning because if they have their kids there, how they're not going to answer a call regarding their kid's school. So they went around saying, that it was after school programs, a lot of misleading information. And our parents signed. Some of our parents don't read and write, so they don't know, to their best knowledge, they don't know what they were signing. So I just want you to take that in consideration and say no to the charter school. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Alon Sedberg, and I'm grateful for your time today. I wanted to say first, unrelated, you all look wonderful, but Mr. Briscoe, that tie, it's just fantastic. It's a lively mood. So there's clearly a lot of confusion about charter schools, so I happen to have here the Charter School Act of 1992, and I'm going to read it. So it states clearly that the intent of the legislation is to provide opportunities for teachers, parents, pupils, and community members to establish and maintain schools that operate independent from the existing school district structures as methods to accomplish the following: improve all pupil learning, increase learning opportunities for all pupils with special emphasis on expanding learning experiences for pupils who are identified as academically low achieving. Encourage the use of different and innovative teaching methods. Create new professional opportunities for teachers, including an opportunity to be responsible for the learning program at the school site. Provide parents and pupils with expanded choices in the types of educational opportunities that are available within the public school system. Hold the schools established under this part of accountability for meeting measurable pupil outcomes, and provide the schools with a method to change the rule-based, performance-based accountability system. And lastly, to provide vigorous competition with the public school system to stimulate continual improvements in all public schools. I strongly believe that you combine this with the philosophies of all our schools, and you have a great opportunity, in addition to what everyone else has mentioned, what's available to your school districts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Amy Green Bossinoff, Clarissa Mahaffey, Alicia Deaso,
Good evening again, Superintendent, Board President, Board and Associates. I will also be speaking in part to some of the recommendations to denial, but then also directly to the community and some of the concerns that have been raised. Some of them hit home personally for me. On multiple occasions, I have heard Mr. Bozar speak to the non-union or anti-union nature of charters in general. I can say that for myself, my family, my husband is in a union. I believe strongly in unions and what they have done for this country. I look to personally support them. And although it's a technicality where, you know, as the law develops and charters aren't part of the, let's say, regular unions, they can develop their own. And we absolutely, I can tell you from me to you, will not be punitive against anyone who wants to start a union at Sycamore. Moving on. Likewise, with the clarifying our program and the petitioners that were out there getting signatures, we're happy to clarify our program. It's difficult to get out into the community and also run your life. We're doing our best. We are happy to hold events. We will continue to do so. We want to have conversations in depth and clarify any misinformation or miscommunications that have occurred. Let me just say that again, as that keeps coming up. I can say that I did not, and nobody in our team has misrepresented themselves, but we are happy to clarify any miscommunications. Speaking to some of the recommendations to denial, specifically insurance and indemnification, in the recommendation denial, it says the petition includes a very short discussion of its insurance and indemnification obligations. I'm running out of time. I'm going to say that our budget does address this. Assumptions of I'm not going to get into the specifics. It's not going to matter. My time's running out. Thank you very much. It's all in there.
Clarissa Mahaffey.
Hi, my name is Clarissa Mahaffey. Thank you for letting me come and speak. I guess first I just want to say I'm a mother, and I don't see any harm in offering more opportunity for our children. And like has been said before, you know, the traditional public school system, maybe it's not one size fits all. And I know it didn't work for me, and I know it didn't work for my brother, and I know that it has worked for a lot of my friends. But I see a lot of myself and my brother as well, and my kids, and I just don't feel like he would really thrive there, the way that he ran in a school like this. And I think that we're all here because we want to do good things for our kids, and that's why you guys work in a school district, because you care about our kids. And I just want an option that is fitting for my child. In rebuttal to a little bit of information to a reason of denial previously, this is in relation to lack of executive director or principal. Previously in the denial, you guys had said that Sycamore Creek does not plan to hire an executive director and does not plan to hire a principal until year 3. And I would like to say this finding is based on specious suggestion premised on an overly literal reading of the petition. As is clear in the context of the charter languages, Sycamore Creek plans to open with a single administrator, executive director, who will perform the job duties described in the petition under principal and executive director titles. Until charter schools enrollment justifies more than one full-time administrator, the executive director will begin in April of 2019, as Sycamore Creek believes it will have secured charter authorization by then. Until the charter is authorized, and there is no, I'm going to run out of time, but there's not a legal reason for denial of charter. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alicia DeAsso. I hold a master's degree in education. I am currently training at the Waldorf School of Orange County in my 3rd year. Next year I will be a graduate in the teacher training program. I come to you again as a research educator. One of my heartfelt concerns in our modern culture is the prevalent rise of depression amongst our young people. One thing I find really appealing in the Waldorf movement is that the teacher stays with the students for 8 years. I find this to be a breath of fresh air. Having been an educator all across the county for the last 15 years, and just finally getting a handle on my students by December, January, of course, through ongoing assessment and, rigorous self-development and reflection, and then saying goodbye to them in June. And then seeing so much in our students, neuroses, behavioral disorders, and amongst that, just the emotional strife that young people are enduring these days because our world is changing and we have so much pressure. As a teacher, I wanted something new for myself as an educator. As a mother, I want something new for my children and for the world. I want to see Waldorf education grow, and I want to see teachers who are able to stay with their students for 8 years with a heartfelt intent to not just develop individuals who can perform on standardized tests, but who can fulfill their potential, their God-given potential that they come to this earth with. And with only 11 seconds left, I've gone completely off script, but I really want you to know, whether or not Waldorf education comes to this district or not, please keep your eye on it because there's so much in it for the future.
The next 3 speakers will be Helen Thomas, Nicole Nathanson, and Ceci Iglesias.
Good evening. My name is Helen Thomas, and I am here to discuss some of the section F specifically of the reasons for denial in our petition. Section F is relating to the staffing being unaligned with educational and an operational plan. There's no indication, what you have stated to us is that there's no indication that any of the 8 classroom teachers hired in year 1 will be able to provide the highly specialized activities promised throughout the petition, such as handwork, woodworking, world languages, etc. This statement mischaracterizes the plain language of the charter petition and budget regarding Waldorf training. Many of the highly specialized activities identified in the charter position are specific to Waldorf teacher training, which includes training in music, drama, painting, handwork, games, and storytelling. As the finding concedes, Sycamore Creek has budgeted for additional specialized, non-core, non-college prep instruction in the event of all activities cannot effectively be delivered by the classroom teachers. Qualifications for non-certified teachers are described on page 137, and you all have that available to you. The statement that has been made does not support a finding that the petitioners are demonstrably unlikely to successfully implement the program, and it is not a legal reason for denial of a charter petition. Handwork is generally a major component of the educational program. In an abundance of caution, Sycamore Creek has conditioned the availability of one particular type of handwork, woodwork, on the budget.
evening. I'm Nicole Nathanson, and I did not prepare a script, and nor am I speaking to any petitions. I'm speaking from the heart and soul of my own self as a mother of a Waldorf child and a professional educator who holds a degree, a Master of Arts in Education from Pepperdine University, and was trained in the Ryan Act with Cal State University Northridge, and has worked as a lead educator in elementary school at the Help Group. My first experience as the lead elementary teacher was in a classroom of non-public children with severe emotional disturbance and behavioral disorders. And I had the great fortune of writing a master's thesis and studying education with incredible professors as an assistant professor at Pepperdine. And what I learned is all about meeting the child's needs as an individual human being within the group collective, and that is what Waldorf does best. To have that affordable to the general public would be a humongous gift to the whole community. I cannot speak enough about what we are able to do, and I work presently as a middle school resource teacher at the Waldorf School of Orange County. I was hired there in August for my expertise in blending everything public, everything non-public, with the Waldorf education, and Sycamore Creek has the opportunity to do the same thing in an affordable way. And that's all I have to say.
Good evening, I'm Superintendent, Board Members, Board President, Souders. My name is Cecilia Iglesias, and I am the Director for the Education Community Relations for California Policy Center, and also the Director for the Parent Union. I know that you all have had some concerns about the signature gathering with what's happening, and to my surprise, the things that I've heard of what your some of your staff is accusing some of the parents that gave their signatures to them, that they were in a pretense of scaring them, and also that they were lying to them. I know for a fact that with the California Policy Center, with the Parent Union, what we want to do is empower parents so they can have access to quality public education all over Orange County. And we're here to support the parents because I know the parents have options. And one thing that where it really aggravates me in a way is that the Latino community usually doesn't have options to quality public education because they've been sold the pretense that they can get everything in the district schools. Just truth be told, I'm also a trustee with the Santa Unified School District, and I've seen the things that go on in our community with the Latino community, and then my experience in speaking to our staff here, the same thing was happening here. Intimidation of parents is not acceptable. With the Parent Union, we're going to stand with the parents all over Orange County. Sycamore, know that you have our support with the Parent Union. There's not just you guys, there's a lot of us all over the county that we're going to come and support you, because what we believe is parents have the right for their child to have a quality public education, just like all of you guys, if you guys have kids, you guys want the best education for your child. So Sycamore and the parents that have signed the petition want the same thing for their kids. So I hope you do the right thing for the parents and for the students, and approve this charter petition, because this is what the parents want. Thank you.
The last four speakers are Magda Gomez, Carrie Otto, Alicia DeAsso, Margaret Friedman.
Good evening. My name is Magda Gomez, and this time I'm gonna do my message in Spanish. Quiero agradecerles por la vez pasada que me tuvieron aquí. Estoy representando a todos los papás que quieren una opción, nada más otra opción.
Thank you very much for having me again tonight. I am coming in representation of many parents that they want only one alternative more.
Y quiero decirles especialmente a los que están aquí, los dos papás tienen hasta una bebé, se ve que les importa la educación de sus hijos. Me da mucho gusto que son padres de Huntington Beach que se preocupan por la educación de sus hijos.
And I am glad to see parents there with their baby. I understand that they really care about their children's education, and really congratulate them because it seems very interested in their education.
por lo que puede escuchar, sus hijos son exitosos y eso está bien, pero hay muchos papás que sus hijos no están siendo exitosos en las escuelas que ahorita tienen, en las opciones que tienen en el distrito de Huntington Beach.
I could hear that your children are very successful right now in the public schools, but you have to understand that there are many other children that are not that successful here in Huntington Beach.
Esta es una escuela diferente y a veces lo diferente, sobre todo los latinos, porque yo soy latina también, nos asustan. Pero a veces eso diferente es la opción que nosotros necesitamos para triunfar y para ser exitosos, especialmente nuestros hijos.
Well, I know that new things or different things are kind of scary. I know that because I am a Latina, so I understand that sometimes we get scared with different things. But I can assure you that this different school is something that we need to be successful.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Okay.
Nada más para terminar, quiero decir eso. Estuvimos nosotros también hablando sobre la unión de padres y muchos padres también nos han llamado preocupados porque se sienten que hicieron algo malo, porque es lo que les han estado diciendo. Dicen que llamadas del distrito.
We also are concerned regarding some parents that they felt that did something wrong because they received some calls from the district.
Lo que nos han dicho es que les dijeron que la escuela, por ejemplo, Oakview va a cerrar y eso ellos se sintieron mal por eso y les explicamos que no es el caso, sino es lo de la escuela que ellos firmaron y ellos entienden. Nos decían que unos no saben leer, escribir, no tuvimos esa experiencia nosotros y creo que además, y aunque no supieran leer, escribir, con los que nosotros hablamos tienen sabiduría de la vida y saben de lo que estábamos hablando, no son personas que no entendieron lo que les estábamos diciendo.
Well, many parents were concerned because they were told that Oakview School will be closed. And we explained to them that this is not happening. On the other hand, we were told here that there are many parents that they don't read or write. But that wasn't our experience. We didn't encounter any of those parents. But even though if they didn't know how to read or write, they are wise. They are people with life wisdom. So when we explained to them what we were trying to do, they understood completely, very well what we were trying to do.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, trustees and superintendent. My name is Carrie Otto, and I am a parent and an educator. And I am here in support of Sycamore Creek Public Charter School. The Ocean View School District has a unique opportunity tonight to approve this wonderful opportunity for school choice, for an educational model that a lot of rich families pay for, but is inaccessible to children who cannot afford it. And we're here today to ask Ocean View School District to provide an equitable program for all families. And we believe that that's a right that students have. I also wanted to address, I understand that there have been some concerns raised in a recommendation to deny this charter school petition. Specifically in relationship to the Board of Trustees meetings and where they would be held. And that if the meetings were held outside of the jurisdiction of the district, that would prevent parents from participating. Well, I want to clarify that the district does not specify where the board meetings will be held at all, in fact, and it's simply an assumption that the board meetings, the Board of Trustees meetings for Sycamore Creek would be held outside of the jurisdictional area. In fact, Sycamore Creek Charter School has undergone training to understand the Brown Act and the responsibility to hold board meetings in the jurisdiction where parents can attend and participate actively in the discussion about the school and the development of the school. So, of course, that Sycamore Creek's board meetings would be held within the jurisdiction of the authorizer. So I encourage you to vote yes tonight. Thank you very much.
Does Sycamore Creek operate any other public charter schools in the county of Orange or any contiguous counties to the county of Orange?
No.
So nothing in LA County, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego County?
Sycamore Creek is composed entirely.
I'm sorry, just Waldorf. Does Waldorf operate any other? I misspoke myself. Does Waldorf operate any other public charter schools in Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, or LA County?
So Waldorf is not an organization. Waldorf is an educational model. So there are other schools that use a Waldorf approach in education, but there's no Waldorf organization that operates a number of schools.
Are there any other Waldorf-styled public charter schools in counties contiguous to Orange County?
There is a public charter school in Aliso Viejo called Journey.
Are there any other Waldorf-styled schools in any other of the contiguous counties? San Diego, Riverside, or Los Angeles, or San Bernardino?
Highland Hall is in Pasadena, which is in Los Angeles. There's actually a few.
That's my turn.
Oh, okay.
Not a public charter?
In terms of like the location of various charter schools, that's not my area of expertise. I come here as a parent. I didn't come here today to advocate for charter schools in various counties.
Do any of the other Waldorf-styled schools in contiguous counties or in Aliso Viejo offer homeschooling programs and curriculum?
Yes.
I'm unclear about that. I'm unassociated with any of those charter schools.
Thank you.
I go to Journey, and we are homeschooled.
No,
as well.
we have
Sorry.
there's just a question, sorry.
All right, clearing it up.
Point of information, or point of order, I should say.
Yes.
So when we are having a meeting, you are not allowed to stand and speak out of turn. You have to have turned in a card to be able to speak. We've taken in all the cards possible. So only the speaker that's at the microphone is speaking, and then if a trustee wants to address that speaker with a question, a clarifying question, that's allowed under the Brown Act. Other than that, there's nothing else allowed. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Tarver.
Good evening, Superintendent Hanson, President Satters, trustees. I'm the Ocean View Teachers Association president, representing over 400 teachers in the Ocean View School District. We urge you not to accept the Sycamore Creek Charter School petition. We have strong existing programs and community support with our PTSO and PTAs and our strong stakeholder partnerships. Supporting a very specialized, strict alternative program would just take away from the support of our existing programs. I want to just talk a little bit to the Sycamore Creek Charter School petition to come to the Ocean View School District. This charter is saying that there is a high interest of Ocean View School District residents interested in attending the Waldorf-inspired alternative education opportunity. However, the majority of the testimony at the last school board meeting and now come from parents and community members outside of our school district. The Waldorf-inspired education program is a highly specialized program, and offered in the private setting, the tuition is $16,500. The amount of public education funds that the school would receive would be less than half of that. So it brings to question that can this school be sustainable with public education funds and educate all public school students, including special ed students and English language learners. Journey Charter School in Aliso Viejo, which is the school that Sycamore Creek seems to be modeled after, it has mixed reviews. On schooldigger.com, Journey Charter School is rated 3,350 out of 5,662 California public schools. It has the lowest rating of all Aliso Viejo schools. And I'm sorry, I had more to say, but.
One quick question. You said $16,500. Is that per year or?
That's per year.
We are done with public comments for this time. When we get to H1, we have one.
Okay. We are at H1, new business. Superintendent's office. Action on request for approval of charter for Sycamore Creek Charter School and adopt resolution 10/18/19. I'm not going to give for action yet because we have public speakers, so lead into those.
So Alicia DeAsso turned in a separate card to speak.
Thank you for having me again. I was one of the teachers that helped develop the scope and sequence for our petition. As you know, it's a several hundred-page document that articulates Common Core with the objectives of a public Waldorf school. What this document showed me, and hopefully showed you, is that a Waldorf school does a fine job of articulating with the Common Core standards, and so in the first few lower grades, the students take their time to develop their reading skills. By 5th grade, they overtake the Common Core standards, and in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades, we see that the students are performing at a near high school level in science, mathematics, reading, and so on and so forth. For me as a parent, this was very reassuring because choosing a Waldorf model that takes time for a child to develop their reading and mathematics skills slowly in the beginning, while being able to deeply understand the content that they are gaining. And then with that depth of understanding that they gain in those first few years, they overtake their public school peers by 5th grade. That is something that I think we need to acknowledge here as individuals who are interested in not just meeting standards, but who are interested in possibly exceeding those standards, and that's what the Waldorf School does. So please take a look at those scope and sequences that we provided you. I know there was some doubt that the school would be able to meet or exceed standards as laid out by the state education, and that is certainly not the case, as our research has shown. Thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Okay, H1, Superintendent's Office, action and request for approval of charter for Sycamore Creek Community Charter School and adopt resolution number 10/18/19, which would deny the Sycamore Academy petition is in front of us tonight for action. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Do we have a second?
I will second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor? Trustee Westwood?
Thank you. Could you please explain the ramifications of a yes vote and a no vote, please?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so just so the board is clear and the public is clear, what we are voting on is a resolution to adopt, or a vote to adopt the board resolution, which would deny Sycamore Academy their petition. So basically, an aye vote or a yes vote would deny them their petition, and a nay vote or a no vote would allow their petition to move forward. Or would defeat the resolution, I should say. I don't believe, you can clarify for me, would it necessarily, their petition wouldn't move forward, it would just defeat the resolution.
It would defeat the resolution.
Correct. Are you clear? Okay. Hearing no more discussion, we'll move to the vote. Vote. Trustee Westwood, do you have any comment?
I have some comments. This is a long process, and it can be a discouraging process. And I hope the petitioners, if the vote does not go their way, don't get discouraged. I'm going to be a yes vote tonight, and I think this petition is getting close. I've read through the whole thing, and our staff has come up with some deficiencies, and in my opinion, I can't get there yet, and so I'm going to be voting yes. But again, and also on advice of legal counsel. I'm gonna be a yes vote. But if it doesn't go the way that Sycamore hopes, I truly hope you don't get discouraged. The wheels of government can turn very slowly, and it can be a process, and it can be a discouraging process. So I hope that doesn't occur. Thank you.
Trustee Briscoe.
I am prohibited by law from speaking out of closed session in attorney-client privilege material, but I can say I haven't heard anything from our board attorney that advised or admonished me to vote yes or no on any resolution on this agenda.
I would caution the board for when speaking in any advice from counsel. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. So the resolution is passed. And that brings us to adjournment. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carried 5-0. We are in adjournment at 8:17.